I don't know when we're finally going to realize that being pretty does not keep a man, because he doesn't care how good you look when you're treating him like garbage. Personality and kindness keeps a man, so let's start working on that, ladies.
I want a traditional marriage. I will cook, I will clean, I will do the laundry, I'll take care of the kids, I'll take care of the house. I draw the line at taking the smaller trash from the inside and putting it into the bigger trash on the outside. That's a guy's job.
Am I the only one that noticed that whenever a woman is unhappy in a relationship, society just gives her a script? Leave him, take the kids, take the house, take half. You deserve better. But when a man is the unhappy one in a relationship, the script, well, it flips. Be a man, suck it up. You should be providing anyway. You're lucky she chose to stay. I just find it interesting that when a woman leaves, she gets support. But when a man leaves, all he gets is suspicion. She gets all the empathy, and he gets served papers. You sit back and wonder why men stay silent in their own suffering. Well, hello, that's one reason out of a million. The fact of the matter is that society chooses to see unhappy women as victims, and the unhappy men, well, they're just failures. That's not called equality, that's called emotional servitude.
I ran into a guy in the club the other night that I saw for a bit last year, and I gave him about ghosting me. But he said he thought I wasn't interested. I thought of you straight away. I might be an ice queen. This is exactly why you have to drop the if he wanted to, he would. Because I can guarantee you in your head, you were like, well, if he was into me, he would text me. Meanwhile, he's over there thinking, oh, she's definitely not interested in me. This is it. This is why. This is exactly it.
So earlier this evening, I was out at a restaurant and there was a group of 3 women that walked in that were probably around the age of 40. They all took a seat at the bar, and the one in the middle, I could overhear her a little bit from the far sides of the restaurant at the tables. And she was celebrating that she had just divorced her husband. Keep in mind, these are women who are in their 40s, making a scene in the restaurant, in the bar area, taking selfies. They're getting wasted and stuff like that. And exactly, guys, this is the problem right here, is that you have so many men being disrespected, openly disrespected and mocked. This woman over here celebrating the divorce, probably spending the guy's money to even have that night out with her girlfriends or whatever. And you have a lot of men right now who are afraid to speak out against this kind of stuff, who have been beaten down. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If this continues, if it hasn't started already, if this continues, there's all this talk about the male loneliness and that kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you something right now. Men can handle loneliness, being alone, whatever you want to call it, just fine. A heck of a lot better than a lot of people think. Women, on the other hand, from what I've seen, can't handle that at all. Even a lot of women I've known who are single, they're still posting pictures in the bikinis on social media. They're still posting all these story posts. They're going out of the house wearing makeup and all different kinds of stuff for attention. Men do not do that kind of stuff. At least masculine men who are confident in themselves do not do that kind of stuff. So my point being, even women who are not in relationships, who are single, are doing things for attention. Men, on the other hand, do not do those things because, quite frankly, they could be just fine being lone wolves, being alone, focusing on their grind. And the problem is, like with this example I mentioned at the restaurant, a lot of women have grown up with this kind of anti-man sentiment that's going to push men away. When men are walking away from relationships, dating, marriage, it is going to lead to a female, I don't even think the male loneliness epidemic is a thing, quite frankly. Like I've said, being lonely and being alone are completely different things. Most men can handle being alone just fine. If you have even 1 or 2 close friends who really have your back, or a sibling perhaps, or a father in your life, you're going to be just fine. You don't need a big social circle and distractions. So my point being is that if this kind of disrespect keeps happening, you are going to see an actual loneliness epidemic among women. The problem is, like I mentioned with this girl in the restaurant, she probably has a line of guys, sadly, a line of guys who might take that man's place. And that's a problem I've seen. There are so many men with single mothers, with women that have...
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Let me get this this right. We don't want men watching porn while in relationships with women because it's disrespectful. But if somebody suggests that a woman shouldn't make porn while in a relationship with a man, the man is just insecure if he's not okay with it, okay? So explain to me how I'm supposed to raise my boys to not sexualize women, but yet I'm also considered a misogynist if I'm hyper against my daughter becoming an OnlyFans model. It just kind of seems like there's a double standard here. If we want some sort of a functional society here, then the double standards need to stop doubling, and we need to hold women to the same account as we hold men. Because one thing I always hear is dumb things like, if men were the ones that could get pregnant, would be available everywhere. Well, if men were the ones able to get pregnant, they would probably be held accountable. Don't be out here begging for men to stop sexualizing women, but then continuously call a woman who speaks against work a misogynist and a pick-me. Thank you.
Made a video saying that a ran-through man is a real man and that a man should have experience and that that's attractive, and it pissed a lot of you guys off, so I'm just gonna give you some food for thought. A man that gets laid easily has to have a lot of good qualities to get laid easily. I know a lot of y'all like to think that women are easy, but they're not. You have to be good at making a woman feel safe, heard, appreciated, beautiful. You have to genuinely be kind of cool, or at least come off cool, be able to hold a conversation, ask her questions, be respectful. Assholes don't get laid unless they're pretending to be good men. So there you go.
When is it okay to stereotype people? I keep seeing it being done over and over again, so some individuals out there must think that it's perfectly acceptable to do, at least to some groups of people. So I wonder, when does the actions of some members of a group of people then justify applying it to the entire group? I wonder, is there a specific number of people that it has to apply to in order for the entire group to be guilty of it? It's a very interesting subject matter, because there are certain groups of people that absolutely no one is allowed to stereotype because that's considered wrong. But yet there are others where it's done almost on a daily basis. So I ask, when is it okay to stereotype and judge an entire group of people based on the actions of some members of that group? I am really looking forward to hearing the answers to this, because I think it would be most educational for everyone.
A lot of these modern women have unrealistic expectations of what's going to be happening in life. They want a man that's successful, but they want the man to have so much time for them. They want the man to just have, I don't have to work. The money he's going to make itself, right? It's just going to fall off a tree. Yeah. And you just have to pick it up. And that's how I'm taking you on a date. I planted a money tree in my backyard, and that's all I had to do, when really it doesn't work that way. And that speaks to, kind of as an example, that speaks to how modern women think in general. They think that, men just going to be around them all the time. The best men, for a lot of these women now, men are going to be hovering around them, giving them all of their wants and desires all day long. And that's just delusional thinking. You can't get a man because you think delusionally.
I used to think I would never.
I try not to.
I used to think I would never, and then I did.
Do you believe in the if you go looking for it, you will find it? Do you believe in that? Because a lot of people think that.
I think men are really good at hiding everything.
A lot of men have another phone that you have no idea about.
Yes, I've heard of that. I have some friends that he had a whole burner phone. Yeah. And not only that, people are sneaky, even strip clubs. For example, I saw, let's say the strip club is called, I don't know, what's a strip club name?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say it's Spearmint Gentlemen's Club. It'll literally say Spearmint Steakhouse, on the statement, if you want to check the credit card statement or something.
Man, if that day ever comes for me, God bless that man, because he'll regret the day he was born.
Touch your husband, because why is the pressure always on him? To make the first move, the first touch, the first look. We say we want connection as wives, but how often do we actually start it? When was the last time you walked up behind him, slid your arms around his waist, and kissed his neck? Just because you wanted him. Men crave to be desired too. They notice when you grab their hand first, when your body leans into theirs, when your eyes say exactly what you are thinking. That simple touch tells him he is still wanted, that he is still the man that makes your pulse race, the one you can't help but reach for. So tonight, do not wait for him to make the first move. Let your touch say everything. Touch your husband.
This is not going to sound very independent woman of me. I don't care. Being with a man is so regulating for me. Like, I just don't think that men realize, like, sometimes all a woman needs, like, when she's, like, in a really heightened emotional state is for the big, strong man in her life to just, like, grab her by the shoulders and just be like, hey, it's gonna be okay. I don't know, there's something different about it. Like, my girlfriends can tell me, like, oh, it's gonna be okay, and, like, they're coming at it from a lot of levels of, like, empathy and sympathy, and, like, that's great, and I appreciate that energy from my female friendships so much. But when a man says that, he's coming from like, a state of authority and a state of, like, action-oriented power, it just means a lot.
A lot of husbands are starving and their wives don't even realize it. And I don't just mean physically. I mean emotionally. I mean affection. I mean being wanted. I believe that a lot of wives think, well, if my husband wants me, he can just ask. But what they don't understand is after a while, he gets tired of asking. He gets tired of always being the one reaching, always being the one to initiate first, always being the one hoping he doesn't get turned down again tonight. No man wants to feel like a burden to his own wife. No man wants to feel like he has to beg the one person who's supposed to want him. Men need respect, yes, but they also need affection. They also need to feel desired. They need to feel like their wife actually wants them, not just tolerates them. Your husband doesn't want to feel like he has to convince you to love him. He wants to feel like you already do.
I think it's a little bit weird when, like, men be like, oh, I don't want to approach the girl because I don't want her to think I'm weird or creepy. Men can't approach women anymore. The Me Too movement ruined it. But it's like, do y'all not, like, it really just shows that before they were being, like, weird. Like, do you not know how to approach a woman? Not even a woman, just a person. Like, you don't have to be weird and creepy. You can just be like, hey, how you doing? And then take the hint and leave if they don't like it. Like, you can still approach people. It's just the fact that you guys do it very weirdly. On top of that, like, the approach will be good and then you'll get rejected. And then it's like, it's met with, it's like verbal. It's like, oh, now I'm fat. Now I'm a because I don't want to be with you. Or like, I don't want to talk to you. Or I don't want to drink this drink that you just handed me. Like, it's not a slippery slope. It's like, what the hell? And that's why y'all don't get no now, because you're not approaching women. Like, you can still approach a woman, just don't be weird. Like, that's not hard to do.
Let me ask you something. Do men ever not pursue a woman because they are intimidated by her? Do men ever not pursue a woman because they're just too scared of how much they're gonna fall in love with her? We have been fed this tale that if a man is not pursuing you and a man is not making plans with you, that's probably because he's intimidated by you. He's intimidated by your success. He's intimidated by your beauty. He's intimidated by how fancy of a lifestyle you have. And I'm just curious, is any of that true? Is any of that?
It's not that he's intimidated. It's that he knows that by getting into a relationship with that kind of woman, he's going to be signing up for a full-time job trying to maintain and upkeep a relationship without her even reciprocating. It's quite literally the ability of a man to look at a situation logically, to then determine if it's even worthwhile trying to pursue a woman that potentially could just tear his life apart and he will never have peace. What a man is actually intimidated by is being sent to HR because he's about to get fired. He's intimidated by the police being called on him for being falsely accused over something that he's never done. And he's intimidated by running into a bear in the woods.
I think in a lot of these situations and scenarios, when you listen to modern women and how upset they are that men don't try anymore, They asked the question, why did men stop trying? You know, why did he stop planning dates? Why did he stop being romantic? Or doing all the stuff that he used to do? It doesn't seem like it ever crosses their mind, like maybe you weren't reciprocating, maybe you weren't that great of a partner, maybe you weren't appreciating him. There was a woman that talked about a lot of times modern women say things like, oh, that's the bare minimum, and they never appreciate or say thank you. But she said, I implement that in my life because, you know, even in the small things, people need to feel appreciated. And it keeps them going because it lets them know that you acknowledge, you see, and you comprehend how much it takes for them to continue doing on a daily basis what it is that they do for you. So be appreciative and grateful, something a lot of modern women don't have.
I just had some guy come up to me, ask me for $37 so he could get a tow truck. If you're the guy watching this, I'm sorry, don't approach women. Don't approach me. I'm scared of you. I don't care what you look like. You are scaring me as a middle-aged man. I'm scared. Also, to the girls out there, a man never asks a lady for help, okay? Unless he's trying to get at you or something, okay? Be aware, ladies. You don't need to help anybody out. I said, no thanks. That's all I said. I didn't say no, I'm sorry. I just said, no, I'm good today. Thank you. Do I feel like an kind of, but have I been pulled one too many times? Somebody did that to me. Yes. Last time I tried to be nice to somebody who asked for money, I gave him $50 because I didn't have any less change, and she was a con artist. So I'm never helping anyone ever. The only time I will help out a man is if you're in the ladies department and you have a lady question. Lady questions only. Do not ask me to help you. I'm not gonna help you.
Have you ever been upset about something, so you bring it up to your husband, but his response isn't what you were hoping for? Here's the thing. Sometimes it's not that he doesn't care. Sometimes it's just bad timing. If he's prepping for work, distracted by a project, or expecting people to show up any minute, it's not the right moment to bring up something heavy. I know it feels like you are getting it off your chest, but if there's no time or space to actually work through it, it's just going to feel like a end. And that irritation you might see from him, don't misread it as him not valuing you or the problem. It might just mean his head is somewhere else already. So what do? You ask him to pick a time in the next day or two when you can actually sit down and talk about it. That way, you know he knows that it matters to you, and you can go into it with both of you present and ready. Because timing really is as important as the words you choose.
So I just had a girl over the weekend decline my drinks date offer in order to get a dinner date. Naturally, that gets me going a little bit because y'all know where I stand. I, for the most part, will not do a dinner date on a first date. There's many reasons for that. One, it's too high investment. I don't want to drop $200 on a girl I don't even think I'll see again. And three, it's kind of job interviewing, it's kind of awkward. It's hard to escalate, not a vibe. So I respectfully said, okay, do you not drink? She goes, no, I drink. And I was like, why can't we get a drink? She's like, I know how that goes. I'm not that type of girl. I talked to her back. I was like, who said I'm going to take you home? I said, I just want to see if I like you. I was like, let's have a drink. Let's see if we get along. And then we could go get dinner another time. Gave me some more pushback. And I like doing dates in the evening. So like, no, let's do ice cream, drinks. I don't want to do a daytime date. Eventually I said, you know what? I said, this doesn't seem like it's for me. Have a nice night. Let me know if you want to get drinks. Hung up the phone. Not even 30 minutes later, I get the text, let's go get drinks. Probably won't end up even wanting to see this girl. But why do y'all girls do this, man? This is so crazy to me. I just don't get it.
What's the most a man should spend on a first date?
This should be good.
If I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna use all my products to come out with you, I need a minimum of $200.
Wait, how much?
A minimum of $200. A minimum, and that's being nice.
$200. Because they used all of their products. Well, if that doesn't scream high maintenance, I don't know what else would.
And what does a man get in return for that?
My presence?
I think I know a lot of people, not just guys, that would actually pay $200 not to be around someone with that type of personality.
He has to drop $200.
Yeah, because
minimum.
Because
just because you have to do your makeup.
Because I have to. Okay, so we're gonna do the math. My moisturizer is $400. My eye cream is $300. My serum is like another $300. My makeup, not included. So if I have to spend, that's my money. I'm spending my money on these products. I'm gonna use these products.
I wonder how much she charges her female friends for the pleasure of her presence, especially since it looks like on this particular evening, she most likely used all of those same products.
What are you using them for, though?
For myself.
Okay.
But I'm gonna use these products and I'm gonna show up because it's not like I'm gonna show up in sweats.
The man doesn't owe you anything if you're just getting to know each other.
If you're inviting me out, you owe me a date.
And yet another reason why a lot of men are choosing just to stay single instead of having to deal with that.
We made the interesting decision to ask some men at the bar this weekend what they think is wrong with modern dating. And this is not going to be an opinionated video. I'm not going to put my opinions in on this. I am just going to tell you verbatim what they said to us. I did literally just say I was not going to put an opinion in here, but I will say I don't think we can blame an entire gender on what's going on right now. I think it's both of our faults/problems. The overall consensus is that women are expecting too much out of men. And now when we asked them what that meant, they said a few different things. But first being is they expect men to be, this is a quote, 6'3" and above and make over $200,000. They also mentioned women expect men to take them on 3 or 4 dates before doing anything with them. They said that social media is inflating what women are expecting from men in a superficial way. So they are expecting a lot more material things because they're seeing other people on social media get those things, when in reality, most men don't have the things on social media. They said that they are using dates as pre-games to go out with their friends. They said a lot of these women have no direction in their life and don't know where they want to go in life, but they are expecting men to have everything together and know exactly where they want to go in life before dating them. Or that they are not where they want to be in life yet, but they expect the man that they are dating to be where he wants to be in life. They also said that they've seen a lot of dating app accounts from their girlfriends and that women just have way too many options and have men asking them out left and right. How many forks can a girl use in one snack? The overall consensus about this conversation is I think that they just think women are using them. So let me know what you guys think.
The problem with a lot of these modern women is they feel like men are being pen pals, men don't approach correctly, and so on and so forth. But they doesn't seem like they really consider that maybe, just maybe, you're not really talking about anything. Modern women, they're very lazy in the way that they communicate with men. Now with a woman, they don't even have to ask. Women are not even waiting for the details. I'm calling you. You at work. It don't matter where you are. You could be at a funeral. I'm going to text you. Hey girl, call me as soon as possible. I'm in a funeral right now. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Call me after. And then what? Maybe an hour later, are you still at the funeral? Right? Or you might give him space and then, hey, is everything okay? All right. So this, and this. And you immediately switch from sadness and sorrow to what's the tea? What's the drama? You're doing that because you want to communicate with that woman. But y'all won't keep the same energy with a man. Just be friends with a dude. That's it.
Diabolical things I want in a man. Number 1, height. My man's gotta be above 6'2". My last 2 boyfriends were 6'3". Both of them. And they were jacked. And they looked really good. How am I supposed to downgrade from that? So, unfortunately, my next man will have to be 6'2" and up. Number 2, you can't have a gut. I need you built. I need you fit and going to the gym multiple times a week. I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna date a fat guy.
Now, what's never gonna add up for me is you want tall, fit, and attractive, and you had that twice, and you fumbled them both. But you're on the internet right now, actively searching for that same exact prototype. He needs to have multiple streams of income. And then she said, we need to be able to make as much money as possible. And I'm like, we? Who is we? Because it's all going to be him. What you want is for him to be able to pay for everything while you sit on your lazy and do nothing. And of course, she's materialistic. Expensive gift, expensive vacay, flying business, all that she herself can't afford. By the way, he needs to have an expensive watch or multiple. And it can't be no Rolex, because guess what? Rolex is now considered cheap. I just know she's broke, because it's usually the brokies and the useless ones that has the highest standards.
Today at the gym, I was hitting legs, and like the first machine I walked up to was the leg press, and this man he walked up at the same time. I've talked to this guy before. He's complimented my outfit, my gym outfit. And like I can just tell he like wants, like I can tell the vibes. I'm not oblivious. So, and he was like, oh, can I work in with you? And I was like, oh, you know what? You can just have this machine. And he was like, oh, no, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. You can have it. And I was like, no. You know, I don't want to start with leg press anyways. I have hip pain, whatever. And he was like, okay, sorry. And I was like, don't even worry about it. So I walk away. I did hamstring curls because it was open. And then at the end of my work, like at the end of that set, he came up to me and he was like, how many plates do you need on there? Like, I'll set up the leg press for you. And I was like, don't even worry about it. I don't even think I'm going to do leg press anymore. He just looked so sad. And I was like, no, like, I literally don't even like working out with anyone. Like, it's truly, I just like being completely and fully alone. I don't like talking to people, but I'm obviously going to be kind to him because he didn't do anything wrong. But when he was like, I just kind of freaked out when he asked me if he could work in with me, because he just saw me walk up to the machine and he asked that. And I was like, that is all you, dude. That is all you got that one. And he felt bad. He just looked so sad. And I was just like, it's okay. Don't even worry about it. It's like not that deep. You know what I mean? No, I don't want to work in with you though. But respect, I'm gonna be kind when I, communicate that. But yeah, no.
What it sounds like you're telling me to do is to just, like, I need to think like it's life if I don't get a man and I'm gonna end up home.
Well, no, you're asking me what do we need to do. If the black culture is to survive, we need to have families, and they can't make families with women who think like you. A family is what?
Mother, father, children.
Right. And in order for men to have wives and children and have a family, they must have women who think like wives. Women like you think like individuals and baby mamas. Fine. No heat, no judgment, but you're not a family. Those aren't families. It's something else, but it's not a family. A fractured mind is useless to a man who wants to build.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm a fractured mind. And
it doesn't matter. What matters is the men who are looking to build cannot plant their seed in contaminated soil. You're done having kids, but look at the kids you've had.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a problem too. So she's supposed to do better than you, but you trained her.
No, because that's just how evolution goes.
Ma'am, you can't make families with individuals.
As a black community, we were doing way better before.
We were doing way better when our women understood their role and before you guys chose yourselves over the community. So now it's time for black men to choose themselves over you. This is why black men, you need to understand, you cannot choose a woman who does not want to be your partner. That's the bottom line. No, I'm being honest, man. Just like you chose the man you chose, you also had men who were suitable that you likely didn't choose.
No.
My baby gives me £1,000. I'll put 800 away for the kids. I'm eating 200, I'm getting my nails. So let me tell you why. Why? Because who's feeding them? Who's looking after them? Who's washing them? Who's taking them to school? I deserve a reward.
What kind of mother expects applause for parenting her own child or children? This kind of mindset is just fascinating. Child support is a payment that is legally intended for the child. So I'm not really sure how it turned into reward fund. She asked, who's feeding them? And I'm like, what? That's what the child support money is there for. It's supposed to help you to feed them. Raising a child is not easy. I can give you that, okay? But if you feel burdened with taking them to school or giving them a bath, give the man his child 50% of the time. That way, 50% of the time, you're free. Y'all are sitting down waiting on child support payment just so you can rob your kids. Every woman that is on child support, they should be able to pay for their nails and their hair on their own. Nobody should be waiting on child support payment to take care of their hair and their nails. If you can't do it on your own, out of your own pocket, don't be doing it at all.
You cannot convince me that women are not more controlling than men. The way that women obsess about the location sharing, the way that women obsess with the ex-girlfriend, the way that so many women can't even let their partners go hunting or fishing or golfing. God forbid it takes more than 4 hours and it takes 6 hours. Now you're in a big blown up fight because you miscalculated the time or something took longer than anticipated. These are the same exact women that love to keep score, that have the only ability to look at everything negative that you do rather than something positive. Or God forbid he shows any interest in anything outside of the relationship, now he's gonna get scolded and treated like a piece of shit. She's going to criticize him. She's going to bring him down. She's going to make him feel bad for just simply existing. But not only that, on the flip side, he's going to be expected to go to all of her stupid photo shoots. He's going to be expected to fund all of her side projects and all of her side hustles. He's going to be expected to be treated like on the internet without his knowledge. He's going to be expected to pick up all of the slack, even though he's being nitpicked and looked at and controlled with everything that he's doing. When he wants to bring it up to her, guess what? She's going to gaslight him. She's going to play the dramatic. She's going to be able to play the victim because she knows the cards that she has as a woman in society. And most of the time, the men will eat it. The men will put up with it because they love a woman until eventually she gets miserable and she decides to leave. Even though she's been more controlling the entire relationship, she'll turn around and say that he didn't let her do anything and that's why she decided to leave. Okay, bye.
You have spent your life with one man, right, wrong, or indifferent. And typically that does not make either one of you fit for anybody else out here. Do you want a divorce?
No.
Then what did you do to fight for your marriage?
I did not
Nothing.
fight for my
Nothing.
marriage.
Nothing. Thank you. So now what we get is we hear the other side. He shouldn't have filed. You quit. You quit on him. He's moved outside the house. You quit
I definitely checked out.
Exactly. So when I hear a woman say that he should have did this, he should have did that, I'm like, the nerve of you, man. He was with you for almost 2 decades. And you didn't even fight for your marriage, but yet you women always tell men, we need to fight. And you have probably fought me more in this conversation than you did for your marriage at this time frame. God damn! Whatever happened, have you apologized to him for your part?
No.
Bruh.
We don't talk. We haven't talked. We talk more as if the last year or so than we have the last 4 or 5. But no.
All right. So I'm saying this is not a matter of dating. You don't need to be dating anybody.
Oh God.
You need therapy, and you need to go get your husband back, and y'all need to go live in y'all's mushroom together. I'm not laughing. You ladies forget you got a partner marriage too. And I have met far too many women, sisters in particular, divorcees who talk this stuff. I didn't want a divorce. I wish I hadn't got a divorce. But when it was going on, you throw your hands up in there and don't do nothing. And even to this date, you said you have not apologized to him for your part. What are you waiting on him to come apologize to you?
You know, I see clips of, it's just the same symptom, just in a different lens. I don't men approach, men date single mothers. It's going to be the same symptom. A man is going to be disrespected. He's going to be last priority. Well, I think somebody was saying, some of the strongest families come out of, being with a single mother, basically. And you can even equate that to going back to why don't men approach, or why are men avoiding women? Well, rejection therapy, exposure therapy, you only get stronger. I do get stronger. Yes, absolutely. But in that strength, I begin to create my own conditions for what I have a tolerance for and what I'm really not wanting to bother with. And when men start to create the strength and they don't want to bother with certain things, oh, that's a weakness too. It's not a weakness. I don't want to bother with it. I already know based on your movements and the way you see it, you're not going to want me to approach you. That's the way you're presenting to me based on my experience. oh, well, just come up and talk to me anyway. No. In my experience, you have not been favorable, so I'm not going to do it. Right? Oh, well, you need to change your definition. No. I built the definition and I'm not going to change it. Society always wants men to bend and be flexible to what they're doing. And then they get mad when a man doesn't lead, quote unquote. You can't have it both ways. If a man is setting something up, oh, I want to follow a man. Okay, he set it up. Oh, I really don't like the way you set it up. Let me break it all down, ruin all of it, and then rebuild what I actually wanted. So then why did you make me or have me build all this stuff and you didn't even like it? That's when a man says, yo, you here to waste my time. And that's when you get men checking out.